Welcome, everyone. This is SomaYoga, Embrace and Embody. And today we're going to take the theme of peace and finding more peace. The first tenet of yoga, the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, is nonviolence. And that's a very peaceful way to be. And we look out into our world and we probably see a lot of the opposite. And I want to read you a quote from Deborah Adele, who wrote the book Yamas and Niyamas, Exploring Yoga's Ethical Practice. Ultimately, we have just one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, more and more peace, and to reflect it towards others. So as we do our yoga practice today, as we engage in a practice, you can start to bring that echo of peace in your body, that calm body, that state of awareness, so that when you go out and meet the world, you can bring that grounded peace with you. And let's start seated in a chair today. If you have a lotion or an oil and you want to put a drop in your hand, we'll start with a little bit of support for the hands. So I have an ashwagandha oil. I'm just going to put a couple drops in my hand and just start to bring your hands together. Start to rub them together. And part of our practice of yoga is coming into the present moment. So this moment is different than the last and different than last week. So you start to rub your hands together. Can you feel other parts of your body touching the chair, the feet on the floor? And lean back into your chair. Start to massage one of your thumbs. And let's begin with the breath. Noticing an inhale. I've closed my eyes to do this. Inhale, feel the thumb. Exhale, stay with the length of the thumb. And then move to the first finger. Inhale. Exhale the length of the first finger. Third finger. Inhale. Exhale the length of the finger. Fourth finger. And take a complete breath. Fifth finger. And making sure you've got all the fingers on that hand, and maybe even go back to the palm. You can rub your thumb in a circle in the center of the palm. And let's even bring that energy up to the wrist. So I'm going to do just a little circling of the wrist. So my other hand is kind of like a circle. Good. And we'll take the other hand now and start with the thumb. So at least 5 breaths. It could be 10. You could spend 2 breaths per hand, but let there be an inhale and maybe an exhale. Lengthen and pull the thumb. So the hands can also be known as our instruments of action. They come from our heart, right out from the heart, right? We use these hands to move around the world, to create, to shift landscapes. Find each finger, take a complete breath. Claiming more and more peace as we move through these hands. You can circle the center of the palm. And then circle the wrist. See if you can invite some subtle awareness to this joint that also moves for us quite a bit. Good. You can go back to hands together. It's Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And a simple close of eyes. Let the eyelids be heavy. Let the tongue float to the roof of your mouth. Soften your breath. And notice the warmth, the energy in the hands now. Letting that spread up the arms, circulate through the heart. A prayer for peace, for self, for our loved ones, and for all of this world. You can open the palms and place them palm up on your lap. So I've done this breath practice before, but it's been a while. So let's open the fingers and take a breath in. And when we exhale, let's start to close the fingers. See if you can get that really linked up, like sync with your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. It might be a different pace than my cueing, so just go with your pace of breath. Open on inhale, close on exhale. I'm going to be silent for about 7 more breaths as you use this gesture of your hands to expand and contract with your breath. Perhaps slowing down your breath 3 more. And when you're complete, the soft fists melt away. You can open your eyes if they were closed. Take your 2 hands and bring them to the sides of your neck. So this is a really actually well-known calming exercise. Some people call it the polyvagal pet. As you start to rub down the sides of your neck, the vagus nerve comes from brainstem down through center body. And maybe you'll even notice, I notice after like 3 times, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm here. I'm easeful, I'm calm. As you soften this part of your body, really feel the pressure of the hands. If you need to increase it, or soften it. And I know I come to my mat for these ripples, not just in practice, but after practice. Like I feel better after I practice. So this is just a reminder of that. Good. You can take a moment to move your body, shoulders, arms, just see if anything needs to unwind a little bit before we start some somatic practice. So when you come to the edge of your chair here. As you come to the edge of your chair, find your sitting bones right underneath you. The length of your spine is tall and feet are well placed. So they're not kind of splayed out. They're right underneath your knees. Good. As we start with the pelvis, you're going to tilt it forward and let your heart lift up a little bit. And let's hold that for a breath. Notice the tightness in the back body. And then let's notice what it's like to come out of that tightness. Soften back into a neutral spine. We'll do that 2 more times as you become aware of the back line muscles tightening and then the back line muscles softening. Ooh, that softening is my favorite part. Let's try one more. Anchor into your sitting bones. The opposite movement has us contract through the abdominal muscles and even the chest as you pull in. Maybe we find this familiar shape sometimes. Let's come out of it. Resilient, bright. Yeah, let's go back in. Contract. Feel the contraction, maybe even take a breath. and come out of it. Yeah, some of our somatics practice is for postural benefit, right? Just learning to get out of these tight, contracted positions. Let's pause again. Just notice if you're seated a little taller, shoulders broad, open. And let's go back to arch. Heart lifts, lengthen, relax, and then dive into center curl. Now you might notice your hands want to move along, the shoulders want to spread. You can draw the hands up the legs as you arch and down the legs as you curl. Find 2 or 3 more. That's it. Starting to warm up the spine, every little vertebrae getting some movement here. Okay, well done. Stay nice and tall for a moment. And let's just move our head right to left so you can let the head turn right first or left first. Take a breath there. Turn the head through center and then head goes the other way. Do you notice do your shoulders go with you? Or can you just move the head? Find 2 more each side. You can blink the eyes. Good. We'll add a full twist. Next time your head is to one direction, start to let your shoulders move that way. And you can use the prop, the chair, and your leg as a little anchor here as you find your first twist today. One hand behind you, one hand at your knee. Let your breath come in and out. And start to undo that and bring yourself back to center for a moment. You could even find a little cow and cat in the middle after one-sided twist. Yeah, beautiful. I can feel some opening happening through my spine. What are you noticing as you turn to the other side? The head can turn, the shoulders can move with it. You can cross a hand over the knee and one hand can go behind. Fuller expression of a twist. Does your breath get bound up here? Are you able to breathe a little softer? And come on back to center. Good. Any other cow and cat? Find it here, moving the full spine. We're going to work a little bit with the area of the rib cage and the lungs next. You know, as we think of this idea of peace, there's a lot of other words that come along with that. I mentioned nonviolence at the beginning, ahimsa, but there's also this idea of compassion. And compassion, you know, even the roots of compassion encourage us to suffer with. And this place of the ribs, if you could take your 2 hands and kind of find your rib cage here. The place of the ribs and the lungs is an area of grief, an area where we kind of contract and hold. So I want you to soften your shoulders a bit, lengthen your neck. And if you could start to move the rib cage like you were just doing in cow and cat, but you're just going to focus up here. So the ribs are going to flare forward a little bit. Your thumbs kind of press into the back. And then your ribs are going to flare down and you're going to kind of contract the ribs. Let's see if we can do a couple more. Easy does it. Little lift of heart and rib cage and contract. And the head and neck, the shoulders might move with this. That's okay. Okay, stick with this as you find neutral here. What would it be like to kind of tilt one direction? So one rib goes down. Yeah, that's it. And one rib lifts up. Let's take that side 2 more times just so you can really feel that side rib movement. Check in with your breath. Okay, pause at the middle. You can use the hands one more time here, but I want to make sure your shoulders feel soft, neck feels long, and head over to the other side. So they call it a rib cage, right? And within the cage is the heart, the lungs, a solid protection perhaps, but sometimes things can get a little stuck, especially all these muscles around these ribs. So as you pause, take a moment to let your hands come down, wiggle the shoulders out, maybe a little cow and cat. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more connected to the center of me, and that always brings a smile to my face. Like one of my teachers says, many of us live a short distance away from us ourselves. So, okay, let's find our Theraband. Hopefully it's nearby. This is one of our props today. Stretchy band. If you don't have a stretchy band, you can use a regular yoga strap or a scarf. We're going to wrap this around us so that the back side is at the back of the ribs. Okay, you can kind of feel some connection point there. And the front will wrap right where your hand just was. And something you could do here, you could certainly keep it free and open if you don't feel like crossing the straps. If you want to cross, it gives us a little bit more compression in the front here. So remember at the beginning, I had you do that open and close with the hand. We're going to do that same practice with the strap. Now, what's interesting here is this provides tension across the area of the ribs and the muscle of the ribs so that you're going to create a resistance, right? So it doesn't have to be super tight, but let there be some tightness in the strap. Soften your seat, lengthen your spine, and take a breath into the strap, into the stretchy band. When you exhale, you could even help that compression with a little pull. Now it's important you link the two movements here. So the inhale expands, you can soften your grip on the strap. The exhale contracts. Try another one. Now, so you're so focused on this strap. Can you zoom out a little bit? Feel your feet, feel your seat, lengthen your spine. And then go back 4 more. Inhale into the strap. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, strap. Now, if it feels comfortable, you can keep some of that resistance on the strap when you breathe in. And exhale even more, a little squeeze. Learning to move our breath a little lower in our body here. I'm going to do 2 more breaths. I'm even noticing I kind of want to sigh, and slowing down feels good here. Reclaiming this peace of body, breath, and mind. Nice work. Start to undo the strap. Keep it behind your back though, and see if you can take one hand on one side, one hand on the other side. And we're going to do that twist again, but your hands are at the strap, so it could be kind of a fun little way to kind of articulate through the twist. So one hand pulls forward, that rib cage moves forward, and you start to rotate. Now, come on back. Even try to get your visual stimulus out of this. You could close your eyes and really feel, how does that strap gently pull one rib cage forward? Moving with intention. You can find the twist side to side or stick on one side for a couple passes. Are you comfortable in your seat and your feet? Good. Final 1 or 2. Isn't this nicely help the back side of your ribs feel supported in that twist. Wonderful. I'm getting a nice sigh of relief. Okay. So unshackling this area, we can kind of undo that strap. You can let it lay where it lays. Take both hands back to the legs and go back into your little arch. This one adds the pelvis, the head pulls back, and your little curl. Good. Find one or two more. I'm feeling more open, a bit more mobile, a bit more fluid. How are you feeling? Okay, we just did that practice with the strap and the twist. So let's give our elbows a little place to lift up. Hands are in a soft fist, and you're just going to turn now with the shoulder blades. Yeah, let there be a little rotation there. You can let your head turn, meet with the rib cage. All right, feels good. Let's take those arms out to the side, give them a little reach up to the sky. That's our big opening there for the shoulder blades. Let's turn our palms down and send the hands right back. Good. So we just worked in that area of the core. Keep some of that intention there as the shoulder blades spread and down. I'm thinking of how birds take flight, right? They open their arms, moving out into the blue sky. Good. Let's take one more. This time a little lift of the head. Two palms connect. Trace down your center line. Take a moment to pause, bringing hands back in this Anjali Mudra prayer position, bowing your head. Ultimately, we have one moral duty to bring more and more peace to ourselves and others. So let's come up to standing. So you're going to take your time here. Come on up. We're going to use our chair in front of us. Usually we put it right there at the front of the mat, so you can let that come to the front. And then invite just a moment to stand in front of your chair. I'm going to actually take a sip of water. And as you stand in front of your chair, just check out how your legs are landing today. You can take a look down. We did that little depression of the rib cage. There it is when we look down. And then lengthen back up, root down through the heels, rise up through the crown. Let's take our rooted position with our legs, our connected position with our core, and let those arms float back up by your sides. Full breath in. Palms connect, trace your center. Let's do that again. Up. Connect back in. One more time, reaching up. Soften your knees a bit, give them a little bend, and let your hands trace to your hips. Start to find that crease in the front of the hip where you do your best forward fold. Start to bow to your chair, place your hands there. So if you want to go a little deeper, you can bend your elbows, drop your head, and then stay in a halfway lift position. Elbows are long, hands are rooted. I'm noticing I want to step my feet back a little bit so my spine feels longer. And I'm going to do my cow and cat here. So arch and curl. A different orientation to gravity here. When you go into your arch, you're rising up against gravity. The curl, the abdominal muscles tightening against gravity. Find one or two more. We haven't done much for the hips yet, so this next move could be a favorite, could be something that's a little challenging for you. We're going to step one foot forward and one foot back. Doesn't matter which foot's forward, we'll do both. And when you have one foot forward and one foot back, you're going to pick up the back heel for sure and let that knee bend. And then when you do the front heel, both knees are going to push towards the chair. And then draw them back. So we're going to kind of like kneeing the chair, start to feel the leg bones drop into the hip sockets, the low back stays long. Do a couple more of those. Low back long, knees bend. Your legs are in asymmetry. That means that they're a little different side to side, right? So notice that. Final one or two. Then in the middle, come on back, both feet aligned with one another. You could do your knee bend and cow and cat. So feel free to be soft in elbows and knees. Let's even take a moment to come back to standing. Root down through the feet, rise on up. Option to lift the arms. Lengthen through the spine and bring your hands to heart. Good, we'll take that knee bend practice second side. Reach up, fold forward, and hopefully you remember which foot was forward. Step the other one forward. Spine stays long, so you're not in a curled position. Your head is slightly lifted. Back heel lifts, front knee starts to bend. That heel probably lifts too as knees go towards chair. How smooth can you make this in your joints, your ankles, your knees, and your hips? And then can you notice the low back stays long as you drop the knees towards the chair? Well done. Try one or two more. Yeah, it feels different on this side for sure. Okay, step both feet together. Soften your knees, bow forward first. You'll take a full empty breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Start to sit back gently towards your heels. You can activate the glutes a little bit as you start to stand, reach on up. If you tend to get dizzy here, just tuck your chin. Otherwise, look to your hands, palms connect, hands to heart. Take a moment to notice heat in legs. I'm even closing my eyes, going inward. Experiencing your soma, mind, body, spirit. Okay, we'll take breath in, arms up. We'll add a little bit more for the legs as you bow forward. Halfway lift. Let's step your first leg back, whichever leg it is fine. Keep the heel lifted, and you're just going to do a couple pulse through the calf muscle. So heel lifts and lowers. I want all your attention in that back calf, that muscle contracting when the heel lifts, lengthening when it goes long. Okay, so the front foot is planted well, the knee is bent, and you're going to pick up that back heel and slide it in a little bit. So warrior one stance, those toes are pointed out a little bit. You start to walk up the front leg. We have a nice tall spine now. Check in with your hips right away. So lengthen into the low back, contract the back long leg glute, find the bend in the front knee, and then let the arms start to lift. You can do any expression here. You could go back to Anjali Mudra. Our arms could be out and up. So these classic shapes, this one's Virabhadrasana. You've heard me say it before. Vira means the courageous one. So entering into the world with that peace, peace of body, peace of mind. Finding the courage to act, to stand up. Bring hands to heart. And let's take one more moment with the rib cage. You can take your two hands, draw them to your ribs. Just take a moment. The ribs can do some similar actions to what we did in the chair. They can go side to side. They can flare out. They can draw in. I want you to find the most steady place for them and see if you can take 3 breaths. Arms could be in any expression. Bringing hands down if they're lifted, standing into front leg. Let's do mountain pose, Samastiti, easy stance. Could close your eyes, let that pose melt away from the body. So the body finds equanimity here. Breathe lower in the body. Lengthen the places that feel tight. Okay, we'll take that leg stretch on the other side. Arms lift up. Palms connect. Bow forward. Halfway lift. Step your second leg back. We're going to do that calf pulsing. You know, they say the second heart is in the calf muscle. It's just to know that it's a pump. So as you pump the calf, you pull in with the heel, the calf muscle shortens and tightens. When you press out, the calf muscle lengthens. Yeah, get that gentle pump going. Blood from the bottom of the body moving back to the heart against gravity. Quite a journey it has to take, yeah? And when you're ready, you're just going to start to anchor that back heel. You can pull it in a little closer. The toes are going to point out. You're going to walk up the front leg. Oh, easy there. It's a big transition. So I like to check in with my hips. What happened? My stance feels steady. Back glute on. And when you're ready, arms can lift up. Good. No striving here. In fact, how can this be more peaceful for you? If that means the arms are in a different position, take it. When we find more peace inside ourselves, we can bring that to others. And no effort is ever wasted there. Sometimes it feels like we don't do enough. Other times we burn ourselves out doing too much. Let's find that equanimity. Two palms come together. Pause for a moment. Check in with your foundation. Do you feel steady here? We'll do those tiny little rib movements. Now, sometimes we move through the hips. Today we're moving through this area of the ribs. So going side to side, front to back. And there's a stable place. So these subtle movements, maybe find more steadiness. Find your final hand position for your warrior one. 3 breaths. Standing tall into your front leg. If you'd like, pause or reach the arms overhead. Just notice what you would like to do. Landing in your mountain pose, eyes can close for a moment. Watch that shape leave the body. Coming into equanimity, softening areas of the body on purpose that feel tight. For me right now, it's my low back. And it's even the area of my throat a little bit. I'm trying to soften those spots to get taller. Yeah. All right. Hands back to heart. So take a moment to reflect. We're going to use a couple more heating poses. And then as you go through this, I want you to be peaceful and joyful as you go. So you can modify anything if it doesn't feel right. Breath in, arms up. Hands through center as you bow, knees soft. Empty your breath. And then inhale halfway. You're going to step one leg back and then the other, finding a plank pose. So a little bit of heat here through the shoulders, head lifted, core tight, and then downward dog. So you're going upside down here. That can change the blood pressure. Just be mindful. Full breath in. Exhale, stay. Bend the knees a little bit. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, come forward. We were just working with those calf muscles. In your plank pose, can you feel the calves tight? Full breath here. Here's a little bit of our heat today. You're going to hover one toe off the ground and bend the knee. And drop that leg down. Hover the other toe off the ground. Yeah, a little challenge. Bring it down. Can you stay peaceful, breathing? If you'd like, you can bend that knee now for side back towards your elbow. What? And maybe try the other side. Pick it up, bend it in. Let's take a break. Downward dog. You can go long through the spine. Catch your breath. Now you can check in with yourself if that didn't suit you today. You can skip the second round. If you take any variation, it could just be a plank pose where you hold and maybe shift your weight to one leg or the other. If you're going to try that hover of the foot, you can bring one foot up. You can bring that knee in towards your elbow. Send it back. Try the other side. Go slow. This takes a lot of core strength. I'm noticing I'm holding my breath. I'm going to try one more breath. Hovering and lowering the legs. Downward dog. Nice work. Bend your knees a lot. Lengthen your low back. Breathe out. Maybe a sigh. Let it go. Come on forward. Walking forward. Forward fold. Bend the knees. Bow. Rise all the way up. That standing mountain pose. Maybe reaching mountain. Hands to heart. Pause. Feel that heat in the lower body. You can even invite it to rise to your heart. Circulate breath. So when we add some of these little challenges, you might notice how the mind or the breath gets a little disrupted. Let's use a bit of a mantra from Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Let's find a chair, sit as you bend the knees. So this is trying to be a bit more stable here. Hands can come to hips. So you can lengthen the low back. We did all that work with the rib cage. Hopefully it feels like it's coming in connected. And you decide how you want to move arms today. Maybe they go up. Maybe they go out to your sides. And then find a moment to pause. Let the arms, the rib cage, the hips be in good alignment. Take a full breath in. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Press down, little lift up. Hands come to heart. Nice work. So let's find a balance now. We will do a tree pose. I like to take this stance with the stability of the chair. So you can find whatever leg wants to be steady for you first. Keep in mind some of that rib cage connection, the strong trunk of yours. As you land in one leg, that knee can be soft. The other knee starts to bend. And then it starts to rotate. And from there, you find whatever rotation feels just right for you. You can drop the heel in towards the calf. You can pick up the foot. You can check back in with the hips. Do they feel stable? Okay, all that work with the rib cage to keep it online. Easy breath coming in and out. Maybe an arm lifts. There it is. You can even take your eyes away from the screen. Point your nose straight ahead. Breathing in, I know my body. Breathing out, I know my body. Starting to let the hands come back, maybe to your balance prop. Let that leg come down. You can shake it out. You can pick up the other leg, give the ankle a little turn. Nice work. You can even do a little sit in the middle, shifting your chair or just allowing that second side to come in now. As you get there, you can balance on that second leg. Make sure that knee feels soft. Start to pick up the other knee. Little rotate. Easy does it. Find that connection. Heel in towards calf. Find the core, rib cage, everything's connected up long and strong. There it is. There's the arm. The other. Have you gotten better at this since you've practiced? Yeah, find your breath. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Let two hands come to heart. Well done. You can shake that leg out, shake the other leg out. In the middle, a little chair sit. Okay, so that work we did in the legs lifting a bit earlier, that was quite a bit of work. I want you to come back to mountain pose and see if you can find just this tiny little shift of the hips. So you can draw the low back long, and then you can draw the front body tight so that the pelvis can tilt a couple times. Knees are soft. So many of us maybe don't realize that this area of our body stays pretty congested and tight throughout the day. And it has a reason to, right? It wants to keep us upright. Let's see if you can soften a little bit there, just like we did with the rib cage earlier, right? And then see if you can find the most neutral position. A neutral position does require a little bit of contraction in the glute and a little bit of contraction in the abdomen. Again, this kind of postural awareness of somatics. Let's even draw our chin back, pull our head back, and open the palms forward. Close your eyes and rest in mountain pose. Find that integrity, stability, ease. Breathing in, I know peace. Breathing out, I know peace. This body is a vessel. Spirit moves through it and can inspire all of our actions. Yet the mind can sometimes get a bit clouded. And just know that you can always call back home. Listen for spirit. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. So inviting an entry point into a surrender posture. I'm going to take that on the ground today. I just think it is one of the best ways to really settle the body. You're welcome to sit in a chair if you feel more comfortable doing that. I'm going to lay flat on the ground. I'm going to also grab my bolster. If you don't get an option to lay on the floor much, this could be your 10-minute option to do that. But again, if seated in the chair is best for you, go for that. And invite yourself to lean in, find some support behind you. As you lean in, you can do a little kind of wiggle, right? Check in with the hips, check in with the shoulders. Our surrender here is Shavasana, and it is meant to be a restorative posture, a relaxing posture. So if you're seated in the chair, you do have to keep a little bit of energy to keep the spine long. So encourage yourself to do that. When you're on the floor, you can even kind of try to pull your crown a little higher and let your tailbone point straight between the heels. Knees can be bent if you're on the floor for a more soft position in the hips. Let your hands rest somewhere. If you're on the floor, palms could be at your body. If you're in the chair, palms could be face up or face down on the legs. It's our moral duty to reclaim more peace inside of ourselves. Sometimes when we're on our mat, we feel like we're not doing anything that moves outward. However, it is true that this practice creates an echo or a ripple throughout your life, throughout your day. So let's stay with that, creating that calm place where spirit resides. We can listen, be with. And if we can be with ourselves, we can certainly be with others. So taking a body scan, noticing if you're comfortable, if you need to do a little shift. I'm going to shift that bolster under my knees. Letting the hands rest where they need to rest. Opening your awareness to the full body. We started today at the hands. You can notice each finger, the palms, the wrists. And go down to the feet to notice each toe, the sole of the foot. A short body scan through the ankles. The calves, the center of the knee. Releasing any tension, softening into the center of the upper leg, the center of the hip. Moving back to your hands and wrists, your forearms. Maybe you feel your breath rise and fall with the elbows and the upper arms. As your shoulders soften, the space of your throat and collarbones. Your neck. Your complete head. Everything about the face. As you reach at the crown of the head, invite yourself back down, softening the entire torso, the back, the chest, the abdomen. And see if you can reside in your body, listening to the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know my body. Breathing out, I know my body. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Breathing in, I know peace. Breathing out, I know peace. Continue to let those words ripple through your body, your mind, and spirit. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know my body. Breathing out, I know my body. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. Breathing in, I know peace. Breathing out, I know peace. Begin slowly to move into the hands. Begin slowly to adjust the arms, bending elbows. Begin slowly moving shoulders, maybe drawing head side to side or down. Continue with your gentle breath. If you're on the floor, you can begin to pick up your legs, bending knees. You can even roll to one side while on the floor. You could pause for several breaths on your side. Letting your two hands come together in this place of peace, embodied peace. And may you carry it forward out into the world. Namaste.